Yo. You know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 925s, but we are still married to the games, episode 257. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and games.
Yeah, we are.
And my internet is being funny this morning. I don't like it. I don't pay for it to be funny.
It's all good. It's just waking up.
Right?
I know. She's Louise.
You got the Kevin Hart of internet connections.
Right.
Hey.
Golly. Ed Placencia.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on with you? What are you playing? And what is going on with you? And what are you playing?
Games.
Just in case you didn't understand the question the first time around.
That's
bring
right.
it back around.
Instead, I'll just tell you what I'm playing.
Okay.
We had a good week. Actually, this Saturday, Sarah's sister and their family, the Tapmans, they all came over, had a game night.
Of course.
And of course, had a lot of fun. Nathan, my brother-in-law, he came over earlier than everyone else. And so taking a cue from the community, we picked up Resident Evil 6.
What?
Nice.
And yes.
Yeah, you guys are crazy.
It was all right. We played it for a little while, and
That was the bad one, though, right?
I don't know. It was the one that was like $20.
I know that's
whatever's
right.
the cheapest at this point.
Right. So it was. I mean, we just enjoyed that it was a two-player couch co-op game that we could shoot people with
Mm-hmm.
and shoot zombies and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. It's really hard to follow up Gears of War because that was just so much fun.
Right.
That's great.
But yeah, it was a good time. Once the rest of the family showed up, we pulled out the Unfinished Swan for those guys. One that I pulled out for my other sister-in-law a couple weeks ago, and
Spread
they
love.
really loved that one. They went all out on it, and then
Oh, wow.
about I don't know, a couple hours into it, Nathan said, "Hey, we should get Stacy and their daughter Aubrey to play Portal 2 like we were playing." And I was like, "Oh, that's a great idea."
Mhm.
So we pulled out Portal 2, and they were it was so much fun just to watch the two girls, mother and daughter, playing Portal 2, trying to figure out the puzzles and
Oh,
how to get
man.
it going, and so much fun
That's
to see.
awesome.
Were they gamers? Were they okay with the controller? Or was half of it like struggling with the controller first and then finally getting to play the game?
No, yeah, they did a good job with it. It was more just because intentionally the game kind of leaves you on your own. Just kind of like, hey, you figure out this puzzle, good luck.
Right.
So that was really there was more concern about just wrapping their heads around how the game works and how the portals work and what have you. And once they got that down, they were good to go. But yeah, the controls they were fine with.
Nice.
So that was nice. And then we wrapped up the evening with some That's You and played that.
Hey.
And it
you
was a
go.
lot of fun. Yeah, they enjoyed. We just played, I think, 2 rounds, 2
Yep.
games, and they enjoyed it. So it wasn't we didn't play it and so much that we got bored with it.
I was about to
which
say, it
was
sounds
nice.
like it would be a good game to play at the end of the night.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of a nice wind down game. So it was
The cherry on top kind of thing.
exactly. Yes, it was
Yeah.
nice. I'm really happy to be getting into some Overwatch again. Been able to jump into the old Summer Games promotion special event they got going on, and it's just been nice to jump in with the gang from the community, and man, it's so cool to because I had quite a bit of a break. I hadn't actually played since they introduced
Yeah, it feels like it's
Doomfist.
been a while.
Yeah. And so it was really cool to see Chris's wife, Stacy. She's killing it.
Oh
It's
my
so
God.
cool to see. Like she's rank advanced. She made a pretty good jump in her rank advancement, and just
Look at that.
just been cool to see. So yeah, it was really nice. So I got to play a few times with the McCrackens and then some of the community and jump in and do that. And we talked a few weeks ago about them getting rid of the duplicates in the loot boxes.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm happy to say I bought some loot boxes, and I didn't get one duplicate the entire time I've been playing again. So
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I've noticed
Wow.
it. I can't even remember the last time I got a duplicate either.
yeah,
I might need to
So that-
start playing that game again.
right.
I'll get duplicates, but it's nice to hear that.
Yeah, you probably will.
You prove them
Oh,
wrong.
Gabe's playing. Here you go,
I'm
Gabe.
the one
Here's-
that's keeping the average. I'm keeping the average. You know what I'm saying?
That's
That's
right.
right.
That's right. Other than that, it's been a pretty good week. Been really busy with work and what have you. Played a little bit of Just Cause over the week, and then yesterday I jumped into the new game from Bloober, who is the company that made Layers of Fear.
Oh.
I was
That's
so
right.
excited to jump into that, and
What's the name of it again?
it's called
Observer.
Observer. And
Okay.
I set up the video camera because I'm going to record myself and the jump scares and what have you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not a scary game.
Oh, it's not.
It's like delightful.
Yeah, and so after like
makes you want to hold
after
hands.
like an hour, I was like, yeah, I'm turning this video camera off.
Ah.
Nobody wants to see a blank
You,
face.
you
like,
really
huh?
don't. You really don't. It's
So what is
it's
it?
really interesting. I think I tweeted it's if Layers of Fear and Blade Runner made a baby, it would be this game.
Oh, weird.
And so
Interesting.
it's
So it's more. Is it more investigative? Like
it's very
that stuff?
investigative. And
Okay.
speaking of Blade Runner, Rutger Hauer is in it.
No, really?
Yes.
Wow.
And so yeah, it's really more about you're a cop in the future and you're trying to figure some stuff out. I'm not going to give anything away, and so there's a lot of investigating, and each left and right bumper gives you a different kind of X-ray view.
Mm.
And so you can walk through the room 3 times and see 3 different sets of clues that you can examine.
Oh,
and,
wow.
And it also makes it really easy to miss things because you're like,
Sure.
oh yeah, I've been through there. Oh wait, no, I didn't go there with the left bumper vision on and what have you. There are some, because it's in the future and you kind of play a character who can tap into people's dreams. In the dream world, you definitely can tell, oh, this is the Layers of Fear people, because there's weird stuff going on.
Nice.
But it's really interesting. I had no idea what to expect going in.
I love that.
I just thought I was going to be afraid. And so, yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of like that too, because it was a nice surprise of, oh, as someone who loves, like, anytime playing any kind of a Batman game, when I have to investigate, I love those scenes. And so as someone who likes that, it's like, this is what those Sherlock games should have been. It's just, this is how you investigate.
Oh yeah.
And,
yeah, I get you.
So yeah, it's been really cool. Just, you really feel like you're a detective walking around this apartment building, trying to figure things out. So
That
I
is
got
sick.
in. Yeah, it's really cool.
I think one of my favorite things with entertainment is not knowing what's coming.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so to be able to fully enjoy something in a way where you're like, oh, this is extremely different than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And then loving it.
Yeah.
That is the best.
Yeah, it's so cool. And you go in with 0 expectations. So you just kind of go in, expecting anything. And it's really cool. It's much more like a walking simulator than it is anything else. Which
Oh, very cool.
Layers of Fear, you could say, was as well, because you never fought anyone. There was never a physical monster chasing you.
Just atmospheric horror.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so this was nice in that it's just it's very atmospheric, but not as much of the horror genre. And it was a
Gotcha.
lot of fun.
Sick.
So yeah, it was a nice way to end my gaming week.
There you go. I like
Yeah.
that so much.
No, that's great, man.
Router.
Yeah, buddy. We got Piper's topic of the week.
Oh, yeah. Let's
and
hear
it's
it.
similar to last week. It's kindergarten. Today is her official first start of
Wow.
Nice.
kindergarten. And I'm really excited, really proud of her. We've been really trying to just focus on how awesome this is going to be for her and not worrying about any, it's funny to try and gauge a 5-year-old because one minute she'll be a little bit more emotional. She'll say, I'm a little nervous. And then the next minute she's bouncing off the walls going, kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's a roller coaster for her, but we're just trying to stay like, this is going to be great, honey. We went and met your teacher the other day. So that's really, it's just been a week of adulting. We had a parent teacher night on Monday. That's when we found out her teacher, got to meet her teacher and what classroom she's in. and her teacher's awesome. She's been doing it for a while, and
Nice.
we actually, and she's got two of her friends who are also their parents are our friends. So
Oh, wow.
we're in a really great class. We've got a great group of people together. We all had
Good.
dinner afterwards and just had a really good time. And so yeah, it's one's from soccer and one's from our old neighborhood, so it's perfect. So
Sick.
I think she's going to ease in pretty nicely. Don't know how Mama's going to be today, but I'm just going to be there for her, and there'll probably be some tears, but the whole goal is to kind of keep it together during the whole process, and then when we leave, then she can have her moment if she needs
What
to.
makes this different? Because I feel like Jenny felt like that too a little bit, but what makes it different for Lauren with kindergarten instead of pre-K?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's just the fact that she's growing up. Like kindergarten is kind of your first rite of passage into the school system and how the schools work. And now it's every day. It's not just 3 days a week.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be a lot of that. And it's just the next phase in her life, and I'm excited for it, and I'm excited for her. And so we'll see. But it's been really, really great. But this week it's like we start kindergarten, we started soccer this week, we start ballet this week, we start gymnastics again. So it's just like everything is hitting all at the same time. So this kid is probably going to get on a schedule just from being tired anyway. So hopefully she'll start going to bed. Like last night, she was up. She's just excited. Like we didn't go to bed until like 11. And I'm like, oh, you're going to feel this in the morning, honey, because we got to get up a little bit earlier. But it's actually the timing is not terrible. Like I basically just have to get her in about a half an hour before we used to for preschool. But this time it's every day, and I want to try and get some food in her before she goes. But this kid just doesn't eat. So so we'll see. But I mean, they eat
lunch pretty
at like
early,
11.
right? Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah.
Yeah, which is like which it really is just breakfast for us. So maybe it's fine. I don't know. We'll see.
Jeez, I usually eat lunch around 11:30.
I eat lunch
But you have breakfast as well?
like 1:30, 2 o'clock.
Yeah, me and
Yeah, I do.
Jenny are the
Well, not always. I don't
me
always
and
have
Jenny
breakfast.
are late,
I love breakfast. I got to have some breakfast.
late to lunch as well.
Yeah. Exactly. My dad got out of the hospital this past weekend, which was great. After his
nice.
4th round of
Good.
treatment, he's doing really well. He's been just a soldier, and it's awesome. He's got a great sense of humor about everything. It's so amazing how chemo just affects different people in different ways. Some people get really sick and tired. He's not really doing that. He just has these little mouth sores, or he's got like a little mini blood clot in the back of his lung. All of it's very treatable, and it's not stopping him from doing anything. So before his 5th round is when they are actually going to do the PET scan and see where we're at. So that will be in like a week and a half, I believe.
There you go.
So we're just really prayerful, and everyone is super positive, and I even think the doctors are like, I think we've got this taken care of, but we just want to make sure.
Nice.
They're just being overcautious about everything, which is I think the way to go.
Yeah.
To go in any of this. So I finally get to go see Dunkirk with him today. So I'm gonna.
Nice.
We're gonna go. So I'm actually really excited to see that movie. We're gonna see it in the Big D, which is their huge sound system, big screen.
I thought you were coming to Dallas. I was like, man.
Yeah. What's it like? Just slightly smaller than IMAX or something like that?
Yeah, I think so. It's IMAX, but pulled back a little bit, I think. So yeah, so it'll be good. House is coming along great. I think we're still on track for September 29th. We have a little bit of an issue.
Oh no!
All right, so Gabe,
what did the neighbor put up now?
Gabe, because you just did some kitchen remodel and you did some countertop stuff,
Yes,
right?
I
So
did.
we asked for a straight edge, right? Not bull nose or anything like that on for the countertops. When if you got your counters, would you expect the corners to be straight edge as well?
They asked us, and so they sat us down and we're like, do you want corners or do you want the rounded corner into the straight edge? And they were like, 90% of the people do I think it's like a 30, I don't even know what it's called, but a lot of people do this rounded corner. For kids, they do it like for a myriad of reasons. And so we were like, oh, okay, well, we'll go with the rounded ones. But if we wouldn't have told them to do that, they would have done the straight like corner.
Wow. Okay. That's the exact opposite of what we got, because we want the straight corners. We don't want the rounded corners, because we had that in our old kitchen. Now they buff it so it's not a sharp corner.
Yeah,
so it's
of
not
course,
a
of
dagger.
course.
We want our kids to hit their heads right on that corner.
It's not a dagger from my child's head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they went ahead and rounded all the corners, which like for Lauren just totally changed the look of the kitchen and everything. So we get to have a meeting today with the VP of the building company to come up with a, quote, amicable solution.
What does that mean?
What?
Yay me. Exactly. I think what they're going to end up doing, like, because we want them to be like, forget it. This is trash. We want it redone. And somebody should have told us. Somebody should have told us about the corners. Nobody did. If we said straight, then we're expecting a straight corner and a straight edge corner. Because we went through this like 5 years ago when we redid our kitchen in the old house. So, but they went ahead and, that's just their standard where they round the corners. And so I think what the solution is they're probably going to grind it down a little bit. and it takes like 1/8 of an inch off of the surface area. But I'm like, ugh.
Oh,
to be honest, I don't really care as much, but if mama ain't happy, nobody's happy.
Right.
And so, I just want to make sure that we just come. I mean, it's totally fine, but I think these people are ready to be like, can we get these guys done and out of our hair, please? Because what's funny is like they're the kind of builders, they do a lot of spec homes. And so there's not a ton of hands-on. Like the house that they built to the right of us, they just built it. So whatever stuff they had, whatever tile they had, they probably just threw it all together. We're this is our third build, so we're very hands-on with our build. And because we're, graphic designers, we're very specific and detailed about things. And so there's just been a few instances where I think the details aren't being communicated to us, or there's a lot of assumptions, which always leads to, whatever. But I mean, we have everything in writing that says it's a straight edge. I think they know they're wrong. They're just trying to figure out what we can do without having to completely redo it. So we drop. Or Piper has half days.
So from Mama's end, is she not going to be happy unless they redo it?
No. I think she's like, it is what it is. We got to, let's just come up with, she just wants the look to be different. So if they can do that with grinding it and not have to do a new piece, fine. And so it's one of those things.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is real. First world problems. I don't care. I need a roof over my head, and I think it's like, whatever you want, babe. Let's just work it all out and figure it all out. And it's fine. Most of the time it's been great, but I don't want to build a house ever again at this point. I'm done.
I hope not.
Never move. Move. Yeah.
I know. I'm never moving again. But yeah, so I mean, just small little things like that have been happening. So we have all these meetings. So on top of, Piper has half days this week, and her first full day is next Monday. So like we pick her up today, we're gonna drop her off and then immediately go to this meeting, and then then she's got ballet later, and then tomorrow is like a gymnastics tryout thing, and it's just like, so we're adulting like mad over here at the Router Clan for this week. On the gaming front, man, it is that Mafia 3 grind, and it is a grind. It is a grind at this point. It's just I can see where some people are probably a little frustrated with this game because there are a lot of missions. They're on the opposite side of where you are. So there is a ton of driving to like.
Yeah, because it doesn't have fast travel, right?
No, and I really wish it did. But at the same time, it's kind of cool because there's radio stations and they play like a lot.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's really cool.
Whenever I would see it's on the other side, it would be like, oh no, but I get to listen to Sam Cooke again.
Exactly. Yeah, there's some good music,
really
good licensed music that they paid a lot for probably to have it on there. But and then you hear like little news items that actually happened in that year, and it was. Yeah, so I'm kind of enjoying that grind, and I'm just speeding and weaving through everybody to get to the next mission. But you, like, especially if you die or something like that, it starts over, and you're like, oh, you've got to be kidding me! I got to drive another 2,000 feet to get over to the mission again. But man, that game is amazing though, and I'm having a really good time with it. So that's pretty much it for me. Just a lot of adulting this week, and I'm not happy about it. Like I want to get back to I just want to get back to gaming.
No, just get back to regular life for a split second, where gaming is on the forefront. It's not all this house building.
I know
stuff.
It's funny. Like August has really just been like an out of routine month so far because Piper isn't in preschool this month, and so it's fun because we're doing a lot of family things together. And, we're just running around, just getting things here and doing this and doing that. So but we're not we're not just settled into this routine. And I do like a routine. And once we get into that, I think things are going to flow a lot better.
Good.
But that's it for me.
I like it. Chris McCracken.
Oh man, it's
You're stretching like you haven't been here for the last
Stretch
10
it out.
minutes.
Stretch it out, Chris. Stretch it
stretching
out.
it all out. Here we go.
He just woke up.
Man, I
Yeah.
don't remember anything from the last
And
week.
down.
Like if I didn't have a notepad that I like get out on my phone every now and then, like take a note, I wouldn't remember anything from last week.
Oh, jeez.
So
I'm the same way.
The one thing that I will remember is that my brother-in-law Paul came down this past weekend and brought our two little nieces. But the reason that for his visit really partially was because it was my little niece Avery. It was her birthday, and we were going to take her out and take her to one of her favorite restaurants down here in the Dallas area, or the Fort Worth area more specifically. But the other reason that they came down is because we were loading up his pickup truck full of all this stuff. Because the one thing about my mother-in-law is she's really big garage seller.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Nice.
she puts them on like once a month or so, and she'll get stuff from other people and she'll sell their stuff for them. She's just really good at like wheeling and dealing and getting people to want to buy stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
So we filled up the truck full of all this stuff that we no longer need and or want, and he was taking it up to Oklahoma so that they could garage sell it up
Oh,
there.
cool.
Nice.
I like
Because
that.
that's just less things that we have to put inside of the pod.
That's perfect.
And then the rest of the week after they left, which they came in on Friday, Saturday we loaded up the stuff. We also emptied out our storage unit that we have around the corner to bring it all back to the house. And then we had them loaded up, went to lunch, and then they left like early afternoon because it was a really short visit because he had a tight time frame. But it was a cool little visit, and we're very thankful that they were able to do that because we know very few people with a truck. It's like my dad that lives on the other side of the Metroplex, and then her dad and brother that live in Oklahoma. It's like, oh well, luckily they were able to come down and help us out with that. But then pretty much from there on, it's been nothing but packing because we are closing this Friday.
Yeah,
wow,
you are.
man. Congrats.
Zip, zap, zap.
So
That was fast,
awesome.
man. Is that
yeah,
fast or
the
is that
pod
just me?
delivers Thursday.
That was fast.
Well, it wasn't a full 30 days. It was moved up a little bit. But they gave us through the 27th before we had to be out of the house. So that's kind of how they offset it a little bit.
Okay.
I don't
great.
think we're going to need till that time because the plan right now is on Thursday, the pod's going to deliver. Saturday and maybe a little bit Sunday, we're having people come over to help us fill it up. And then they pick it up to take it away on Monday.
Wow.
nice.
Nice.
So, and that was the one thing that I asked Stacey. I was like, how big is this pod? Is it going to fit everything that we have? She's like, I don't know. We're getting the biggest one they have. And I was like, okay. Well, hopefully it all fits. It's like, if not, we're going to have
It's
to
like
put stuff
Tetris,
in the
baby.
storage unit again.
You got this. It's
Yeah.
like Tetris. You'll be fine.
Well, and luckily, some of the people that are coming over to help us move are people who have worked in our distribution center and like loading trucks
should
and
know how
stuff.
to
So it's
do
like
it.
we're gonna have a few people that
Right.
know
Yeah.
what they're
You're
doing.
gonna have a crew. That's awesome.
Which that was never one of my strong suits when I worked in the DC. So I'm definitely thankful to have a couple people here to be like, oh yeah, this is gonna go there. It's like I can fill in the little spots. I can find things to fit in the little spots, but choosing the structures, like somebody else is better at doing that. And like, should I put all the heavy stuff in the front? No, that's not a good idea. You should spread it out and blah, 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 all that stuff. So yeah, and we are gonna move in with our friends Katie and Kale.
Hey.
Oh, cool.
And gaming will happen.
Yeah, they have an extra bedroom that, it does have a bed in it and it has 2 dressers, but there's nothing in the dressers, which is awesome for us because that means we can actually put stuff in it. The closet's empty. So it's going to be pretty much the perfect situation. They're closer to work than like if we were to live with my mom, for instance. She lives further from work. Katie and Kale live a little bit closer. And so they offered it to us and we accepted. And there's going to be a lot of game playing.
Oh, I'm so
And in
jealous.
fact, I've already kind of told Stacey, I'm like, look, she's going to be going out of town pretty soon. But I said, but while you're here, I was like, man, Destiny's going to drop. And it's like, I don't want you to feel bad if we're all playing Destiny and you're just over there playing Overwatch. She's like, no, man, I got to catch y'all's level anyways. I'll play on my own.
Nice.
Oh my
I'm like,
gosh.
all right.
That's so funny.
So-
There's gonna be a lot of PS4s around.
Does Katie play Destiny?
Yeah, Katie, that was how I got introduced to Katie. Because
Oh,
before
okay.
she moved down here to live with Kale, I only knew her through playing Destiny. Like we would play
Oh,
together
okay,
with Kale. So it'd be the 3 of us because a fire team is 3 people if you're just doing PvE stuff. And so I would play with them, and that's kind of how I got to know her. And then obviously when she came down here, we all got to know her, and we would all hang out together and became fast friends. But we're very grateful that they offered it to us, and it was very gracious of them.
That's
and,
awesome.
Yeah, and we're just like, look, we don't know how long this is going to take. Hopefully we don't outstay our welcome here because, it took us a long time to find our first house. So I don't know if it's going to, I really don't know what it's going to be this go round. We have looked at a couple of houses. We've only looked at 3 and nothing, actually, no, 4. but nothing that has come from any of that, and it's just the usual grind. The only kind of saving grace this go around is that we know basically the area we want to be in, whereas the first time we were looking everywhere.
Right.
We didn't care. We just wanted to find a house. Yeah. So that should at least like let us know, okay, we're just going to focus in this area. We can just make sure we're not wasting our time going to see houses across the city that
Right.
it's like, well, it doesn't matter if it's nice. We know we don't want to be there. So hopefully that makes it a little bit shorter, the grind to find whatever the next McCracken home is going to be.
So this is your last podcast in this house.
Yeah, when I get home tonight after
Wow.
work, I'll be tearing down all the desk and computer setup, packing it all up, and then I'll be taking down the table. Because that's one thing that's going to be a positive also about going to Kale's versus like my mom's. He's got an office where his desk setup is, and it's big enough that on the opposite side, I can set up my desk setup.
Oh, nice.
So I don't have to be like, I thought I was going to have just my computer and my little bitty monitor, and then maybe I was going to have to fish out and find my little desktop mic stand.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to be able to use my actual desk table so I can use my boom arm and all that kinds of stuff.
Okay.
So
Oh,
that's
that's
gonna
So
be
are you
really,
gonna have
really
to
nice.
whisper every podcast for the next month? Because everybody's asleep.
No, because
He's going
it's,
in the
it's
attic.
upstairs. Yeah, it's upstairs and they're downstairs. The master bedroom is. Now,
Nice.
that room is right attached to like the room Stacy's going to be sleeping in, but she sleeps with a box fan, so she's not going to hear me.
Exactly.
It'll be fine. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Everything will be great.
Oh, that's
Um,
great, man.
Yeah, we're really excited to move on to the next step and get
Yeah.
just get all these boxes and like put them in the pod and take them away because I don't like looking at them. They're everywhere.
yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of ridiculous. Gaming wise, man, I'm just kind of a broken record, but the only thing I've been playing is Hearthstone when I have a few free minutes.
Mhm.
And then if I in the evenings after we've been done packing, maybe for like an hour and a half, Stacy and I will get in some Overwatch. Got to play with Ed the other night. Like he said, I've not been getting any duplicates, and I've actually been getting a decent amount of stuff. Not a ton of it related to the actual Summer Games event. I did get the Grill
Yeah, you
Master
did.
Soldier skin.
Oh, good.
But that's, I think, the only one that I've gotten out of that event. I've gotten some other legendary stuff to drop that's just, stuff that's been part of the game forever. But the positive side of that is it's stuff that I've never gotten before,
Yeah.
and it's not a duplicate. So it's a win-win for me. So
That's awesome.
I've been having a lot of fun with the event. Lucio Ball, I tried it a little bit more, and yeah, I mean, it's fun, but I just don't get super involved with it. Like if you love Rocket League, you're gonna love Lucio Ball if you play both games. You should definitely give it a shot
Yeah.
if you're into that. But for me, it's just like a fun distraction here and there. But I like to stick pretty much to mystery heroes or just regular quick play. It's where I have the most fun.
Nice.
And that's pretty much it for me.
I like it.
There you go.
All right.
Hit it, Mr. Patillo. What you got?
Nothing. I'm just kidding.
Okay, good. All right, new releases this week.
Same thing though. Just as you get into the swing of the school year with churning and jacking your schedule up from, it's like a really really bad daylight savings, like to
Yeah.
I love
shove
that.
your body back onto like
Right.
school schedule. You're like, oh shoot, we got to get up at 7 every day, which I know is not early for a lot of people. Like my father-in-law, his job, he would had to get up at 4:30 every day, and so when we would complain about getting up at 7, he's like, ha, I'm halfway through my workday by time. I'm like, well, that's your normal. That's your normal. It's not my normal.
Right.
And so
Yeah, exactly.
Hashtag not my normal.
hashtag not my normal. And so so for us as night owls and everything else, it's like, all right, we can't be doing this 2-3 o'clock in the morning business and be able to be parents the next day to 3 children.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, just a lot of that. Nothing too exciting going on over here. Home for a little bit from doing shows, but this weekend is our 10-year wedding anniversary.
Oh,
Yay.
nice.
Yep. So this is the weekend that we go up to Chicago and go see that old
man.
Bruno Mars.
Oh man,
Ah.
Bruno Mars is gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be. I'm so excited. Like, I don't know. If,
I hope so. You
I don't
should
know
be.
if I'm more. This is gonna sound creepy, but I don't know what other way to put it. But I don't know if I'm more excited to see Bruno Mars or just see my wife sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch you
'Cause-
while you sleep.
Because Jenny is a work horse, y'all, and so
Mhm.
Yes.
she burns it at both ends. So the fact that she can go to sleep when she wants and wake up when she wants is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Will she actually do that though? Or
Yeah, I'm curious to see if she actually does it.
I mean, she'll shut it down because there won't be that there won't be that feeling of like you have to get up. You know what I'm saying? Right now we have to get up to get Amar ready for school. But hopefully on our short little vacay, there won't be anything like, you know, that we're planning on doing in the morning. Like we're not those kind of people like, oh, we should get up and do a hike and then maybe we can see this and maybe, you know, it's like, let's take the day as it comes. Of course, we want to we want to know a little bit about, you know, what's going on, and I'll probably reach out to the community and see like, you know, what's good in Chicago, and she'll get a massage and I'll go do something else, you know, for a while. She'll go get pampered, and I'll probably try to find a video game place, but and so,
Probably will.
That's so strange of you.
Exactly.
Oh man, I'm getting you a wake up call at 6 a.m. Happy anniversary, everybody!
Exactly.
Wake up!
Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Mom! Mom! Mom!
That's
Mom!
right.
Mom! So we're excited about that. So really excited to go, and she's really looking forward to it. So it's fun watching, you know, feeling her looking forward to it, because it was kind of my idea, and so you know, for us to go to Chicago, she's never been. And so I was always like, nice. I want to take you to Chicago just so we could walk around down there. Just it's so alive and it's a big city, and you know, we're staying right down there off like North Michigan Ave by all the shops and everything like that. So, you know, we'll be in the thing. We'll probably go to the movies, which is crazy.
What?
Oh wow!
Might go see a movie or 7.
Shocking.
You crazy kids.
I know. So that'll be a good time. We did go to the movies. I don't remember if I might have gone. It might have been before last week's show, but went to a movie with some friends. But like, we just don't. We love movies and just never get to make it because insurance. But gaming wise, a lot of Clash Royale, obviously. A lot of XCOM 2. I restarted it because I had set myself up poorly, so I might restart it again. But,
really?
It's just tough, man. It's tough this go around, and I'm not good with like just having everybody die, because at some point the levels get hard enough that it gets really difficult to play them with a bunch of rookies, and so your guys level up as you play, and the game decides what their specialty is. So let's say you go into a fight with all rookies, and then as you kill aliens, they'll level up. And then so when you leave the level and you choose to promote them, the game decides what they're promoted to. So you could be like a grenadier. Is that how you would say that? Somebody with like a big gun and like a, you know, thunk thing with the you could also be like,
love that sound.
That's what they call it. That's what they call it in the military. Hey, you're gonna take the thunk.
Thunk 1 and 2, come down here. And so,
Thunk 1 and 2 reporting for duty, sir.
Exactly. And so, or you could be a sniper, or you know, all these other things. But the game decides it. So if you're playing a level and like 2 of your snipers die, or you know, whatever, or everybody, then you've lost those guys, and you've got to like now, you know, continue the game with people without specialties, which sucks.
Okay, right.
So I don't know. I'm cheating a little bit. So if my whole team dies or something crazy happens, I'll just restart the level. And I'm just looking at it like,
there you go.
Taking a, you know, like if you were to die in a game and start at the beginning of that level, that's the way I'm looking at it.
Yep.
It sounds like Router playing Dishonored.
Is that what you did?
What's that?
Router?
That's like Router playing Dishonored, right?
Yes. Yeah. But a lot of it necessarily wasn't because I died, is because I didn't do the stealth part of it correctly.
That's right.
In my head, I didn't do it correctly. I'm like, I'm going to start this over.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So I've been
just cheating.
Yeah, I've been kind of doing that, and so I'll be like, exit, load game.
Yep.
Start back, because I'm playing it on the PC. And so, but that's been really fun. I just really like that game. I don't know why. So it's making me more and more like, maybe I should play that Mario Rabbids game just to have an opinion on it on the podcast. Because people are saying, the people that have gotten their hands on it say it's pretty difficult. They're like, this is not gimme Nintendo game. And so I'm kind of
it's a Ubisoft game.
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to that. So it'll be fun. But I think that's it, man.
When does that come out? Man. When does the Rabbids Mario game come out?
I want to say September, but I'm not sure exactly.
Oh, that early? Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't realize.
I remember thinking when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's a lot sooner than I thought. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Initial release date, August 29th.
Oh, hey, there you
Oh,
go.
nice. Even better.
Dang.
So
Man.
even closer. And Best Buy is giving it
There
a
you
5
go.
out of 5 right now. Facebook, I don't know how
Nice.
they're rating things, has given it a 4.5 out of 5. So I'll probably,
Wow.
I'm excited to get that because I've been needing something on my Switch, man. That thing's just sitting there.
Right?
I feel like I was done with NBA Playgrounds like really fast.
Mm.
I was like, well, beat all the tournament. Anyway.
Next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, you go back and
Good
get
thing
all
it
the
wasn't
trophies.
expensive.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah, $20. Not that bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it from me, Router. You got this thing?
Thunk.
Well, let's
here with the thunkity thunk, sir.
do it!
Sorry, I had to do that. Thunk.
No,
All
that's
anyway,
great.
New releases this week. Agents of Mayhem.
Punk 1 and 2 reporting.
That was good. New releases this week: Agents of Mayhem for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Open world epic. It's an open world epic coming to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. That's very descriptive.
Is it?
Thank you.
Yeah.
As Eduardo said and played, Observer for the PC, Xbox One, and PS4. Sonic Mania is out. PS4, Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch.
That's right.
Gotta go
Oh,
fast.
man.
Hey, and somebody clear that up. I haven't looked into that a whole lot. Is that just re-releases of a bunch of Mario games all in one, or is it a standalone game by itself?
Yeah, it's all the Mario games wrapped up in the Sonic Mania.
Is it?
I think so.
I don't
No,
know.
I don't know.
I have no idea what it is. I'm not
It
kidding.
says Sonic Mania brings fans back into the 2D world of platform games with nostalgic pixel style art and core classic gameplay
So I knew that,
by
but I just didn't know if it
reimagining
was like.
icon zones and extra.
Oh, okay. So it's a reimagined
No, it's fine.
situation. Not so much. I didn't know if
Sure.
it was like a 1-to-1 thing or if it was like actually a new game that just looked like the old games.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think it's a remaster or a best of remaster kind of thing. Something like that. I don't
Okay.
know.
So
Oh,
are
we'll
you
get
like in
oops.
Hill Zone and everything like that?
Sure.
Oh, jeez.
I really don't know. I
Whatever
just
you
know
say,
it's
Gabe.
called Sonic Mania. I don't pay
Yeah.
much attention to Sonic. Sorry.
It's okay.
That's right.
IGN gave it an 8.7. I know that.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think they
alright.
did. If I'm remembering
Nice.
correctly.
Minecraft Story Mode Season 2, Episode 2, Giant Consequences.
Yes!
Released for the PC,
No.
PS4, and Xbox One. Yes, no. For the PS4, Tokyo 42. For the PC and PS4, Nidhogg 2.
Nidhogg.
That's out.
Nidhogg, yeah.
Oh,
Nidhogg,
yeah.
Nidhogg, same thing.
Yeah, I'm totally getting that.
Have you looked into it? Does it look as good as the first one?
The art style is completely different, but the overall
really?
gameplay is very similar. Yeah, it looks way different in terms of the art style.
In a
Yeah.
good way or a bad way?
But I mean, it looks fine. It definitely has a stylistic. It still has all the gory stuff. You know how in Nidhogg you would hit the other player and they would just turn into the goo, like the
That's
mesh
awesome,
down.
yeah.
Of course, it was like real pixelated.
Right.
They still have a lot of the gore like that, but it's a little bit more realistic looking, but not overly so. I don't think.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I have to send you. You have to you can look up I saw a trailer for it, and it looks different but the same. I don't know how to explain it really well.
But it's not like they went with like, some kind of crazy engine and they're trying to make it look like Call of Duty.
I
or
don't
anything
think
crazy.
so. It didn't
Yeah.
seem so. Yeah, it looked
it
like the
Nidhoggy?
gameplay wise. It was pretty much kind of the same concept.
Yeah, because I felt like that was
Yeah.
part of the
That's good.
charm of the first one was that it was so
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
old
Yeah.
school looking.
Simple and yeah, that's awesome. And finally, for the PS4, Cities Skylines PlayStation 4 edition.
Man, I want to play that game.
What up, City Skylines?
There you go. We will have MPD for July next week. We always end up recording like right on the tail end of when they're going to release MPD sales figures. So we'll have that next week. We do have a few oops. Our girl at Haley Zorel. Hellblade actually has no permadeath. The game lies due to its narrative source.
Yeah, I was so confused about that.
Because
Yeah, that's kind
Yeah.
of what I was getting at last week, where I was like, it looks like that may not be the case, but I'm not sure if that gets into spoiler territory, so I left
Right.
it alone.
Oh,
But
right.
yeah,
Yeah, 'cause you
and
don't-
I didn't read into it completely further because maybe I'll want to play it, so I was like, I won't spoil this for myself just yet.
Mhm.
There you go.
yeah. And then our boy, Bad Gamer Elite, hashtag MTTG historian, I was wrong. The black hand model was the first image episode,
Boom.
not Batman Orange.
Oh,
So there you go. There it is. And then Scottish Bakery. Neo.
Even though to help you out, Router, Black Hand Model was done in portrait. Batman Oranges was the first one done in landscape.
Maybe
really?
that's why, because I didn't have the I didn't have the right Facebook.
And that's the template you went with from then on was the.
I actually think because they changed the template size for all the pictures,
Thingies.
so I wanted to make sure that it was Facebook ready. And then Scottish Bakery. Niho was developed by Team Ninja, not Ninja Theory. Easy to mix it up. I mean,
Yeah.
they're both Ninja-y.
yeah,
So-
like me.
Yeah, I was listening back to the show and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I confused those two. And I was like, dang it,
Oh,
we're gonna
good.
get it.
It is.
Chris doesn't like getting
We need
them
a good
Hadn't been
oops
oopsed in a while.
I know, right?
I know, we
don't-
need a good oops
I don't-
in our
I don't-
life.
I don't like misinformation.
well, it's because for every oops we get, you get docked and pay. So,
That's
yeah, I
right.
nobody
know.
wants to do that.
Jeez. Now I owe the guys money. Dang it.
That's right.
Doggone
Dang it.
Yeah, now Chris has to join the Patreon.
25 cents in the
That's
oops
it.
jar.
That's right.
I like
Ooh,
it.
That's a good idea. Let's do an oops jar.
Oops
Let's do an
jar.
oops jar.
It's filled
Funny.
with bitcoins.
Yeah, we could do a virtual
I love
oops
that.
jar. That'll give people incentive to oops us more.
Right. Oh,
yeah.
man, we can't even talk
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Oops on everything.
Our episodes just went from 2 hours to 3 hours.
Right.
Now. So, There
MTTG
you go.
oops. Gabe said, "Oh yes, yes, y'all," instead of "Oh yes, yes, y'all."
Right.
We're gonna have to owe so much money.
MTTG oops. Tim said nice way too many times.
He said, "That's awesome." He hit his allotted amount of "That's
exactly.
awesomes."
Right.
$1 for every Tim sniff.
He exceeded his that's awesome's maximum limit. Yes. Oh, I like that, man. Let's do an oops jar.
I like it too.
But like it'll be like a hidden oops jar, so nobody's gonna continuously oops us.
We can let people know.
It'll be our little secret.
Yeah, don't tell
Exactly.
anybody.
They can't hear us right now. All right, that's it for me. Back to you.
Chris McCracken.
All right, so my first story is that GOG.com, or Good Old Games as a lot of people know it, is running a promotion right now called Pinata Madness. And it's a little bit unusual in that you pay $3 and you just get a random game that they offer.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
And the game could be worth anywhere from $6 up to like $45.
Ooh.
But the one thing that they did say is that you're guaranteed that if you buy more than one, that you will not get a duplicate unless it's a game if you already owned it before this promotion, it's possible one of those will drop. But like from the actual box, you will not, or the pinata, I guess, you will not get a duplicate. So like if you were to get Shadow Warrior 2 out of this pinata, you're guaranteed that if you open like 4 more pinatas, you won't get Shadow Warrior 2 again out of there.
Ah.
So I thought it was kind of cool. I mean, everybody these days, all these different games are starting to introduce this whole loot box system that's basically becoming the new kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Overwatch and a lot of other games have been doing it for a while now.
Yeah, it's
so this
collectible
is
stuff,
kind of
man.
in a way, if you think about it, it's like a loot box, but I like that it's, I don't know, something about it. If I played PC games and was on Good Old Games, I would totally pay like $6 and open up a
Yeah.
couple of these things just to see what I get, if nothing else.
Mhm.
Yeah. I like
I thought it was a neat little idea. And the fact that there's no duplicates, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And hopefully the $6 games are good.
Yeah, right.
Because you know what I'm saying? You don't want to go through like 3 months of like $7 games. You're like, God, these suck. Snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Stare at it in the box again.
Exactly.
So-
Stare at it in the box too.
So people that have been jumping in, because they list some games that you could get out of there, but then buyers have been saying they've been getting games like Rhyme, Everything, Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl, The Sexy Brutale, Her Story, Batman, Telltale series. So it's
That's a
kind of
good one.
all over. Dave the Tentacle remastered. So it seems like some games
Nice.
that are on the higher end that aren't even on their list, you're still possibly being able to get.
That's pretty
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, I like
So
that.
yeah.
That works. Does anybody Snapchat?
Yep.
Nah, man.
Nope.
Router, you Snapchat?
I Snapchat with my niece and nephew all the time because Piper likes to do it and look at all the filters.
We'll tell Piper there's a new filter out
Uh-oh.
for Pikachu.
It's called Hold the Phone Sideways.
Oh, yeah, we saw that. We did see
Yep.
that. In fact, I think she recorded something and sent it to her cousins with it.
There you go. There's a new
She's like, Daddy, look, Pikachu.
That's right. There's a new Pikachu filter on Snapchat, so you can turn yourself into the only Pokemon that everybody knows.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
you don't have to know anything about Pokemon to know Pikachu.
Yeah.
And so he's on, or she, I don't know if it's a boy or girl, that they are on there.
It
Right.
It is on there.
It is on there.
But it's only for a limited time. So it's not going to stay around for forever. So get your Pikachu on while you can and just walk around saying Pika, Pika, Pikachu, Pika to people as you do it.
And then sneeze, Pikachu.
I know, right?
Exactly.
You won't get any weird faces at all. It'll be fun.
Exactly. Because isn't that the lore? That's why they say that Pokemon can only say their own names. That's the only words that they can
Really?
say. Yeah, I think that's right. I'm probably gonna have to put 25 cents in the oops jar. but I think that
I don't know if that's the.
I think Pokemon can only say their names. That's why you only hear.
I'm
Pikachu
not sure if that's
say that.
the actual lore, but now that I think about it, I don't know that I've ever. The times I have heard them say something, I don't know that I've ever heard them say anything different than their own name. So you probably are
Interesting.
right.
Exactly. Well, let's leave it to the community
Interesting.
to call me out next week if that's not the case.
There you go.
What else you got, Chris McCracken?
So Ubisoft held a For Honor tournament over the weekend,
Yeah,
and there was a $10,000 prize
tried
for
to.
the number one, the top winner. And the guy who won it used a class called the Nobushi. I'm gonna say the Nobushi class. They're a faction of the samurai class. And he used an exploit
Yeah, he did.
to
Yeah, he
win
did.
because this exploit basically makes this class unbeatable because you can't parry their attacks. And he, in fact, wrote a 1,000-word explanation about this exploit a month ago, but they didn't patch it, so he used that exploit to win the tournament.
Oh wow.
Wow. Whoops.
So is that cheating or is that not cheating?
Well, I mean, he won the money, and the Ubisoft came out and they're like, we're aware that this is a thing, and we are going to fix it in the future. But as far as I can tell, they didn't say like, oh, you're disqualified or anything. He got the money and won.
Wow.
Because it's not like you're using a game genie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Right.
and it's not as I understand it, it's not an exploit like, oh, he glitched through a wall and was hitting a guy where it
Oh,
can't
it
be hit.
wasn't.
It's just
Okay.
a way where if you parry or if you do some certain move, then this class can then attack after that, and the attack they do cannot be
Blocked.
countered. If you will.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
there's no way to do it. And apparently, like, this has been, like you said, he wrote the explanation about it over a month ago, and a lot of the community's known about it, and even Ubisoft knew about it, but they've still not fixed it. And now, after this guy used it to win this tournament,
Wow.
they're like, we're going to do something about that.
And none of us played the free weekend, right?
Nah, Doc.
No, I didn't.
No.
No.
Yeah.
I played it when
Making
it
sure.
first came out with a buddy of mine. We were on tour when it first came out, and
Oh,
my
right.
buddy Dylan got it. He was like, dude, come check out this game. I was like, all right. I'm going to go make some coffee. I
Really?
don't know. I wasn't
Oh,
into
man.
it for some reason. It looked amazing, and it looked like it should have been really good. But for me,
Yeah.
for some
Yeah.
reason, there was something just lacking in it. I don't know if it was like, maybe it was lacking heart. I don't know.
Hmm.
Well, for me, it
Which
very, like,
is
I
the-
like competitive.
Which is the one you need if you watch, Captain America.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
For me, part of the reason I never really got interested enough to jump in and try it, and I just happened to forget about the free weekend. I would have tried it had I thought about it. It feels more, even though they do have multiplayer modes, like one of the big things on it is 1v1, and it just feels more like a third person, like Street Fighter, like a fighting game in a way. And even
Yeah.
though I appreciate those games and I may even enjoy like watching them a bit, I don't really play them or want to buy them because they're just not my thing. And so
Right.
because my head looks at it as, oh, it's almost just like a Street Fighter. It's like, yeah, they're fun to play, but I'm not good at them, and I'm not going to devote the time to become good at them. So I don't want to pay $60 for a brand new game, like maybe later on down the road or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's completely fair to say that, but just my head drew that comparison and I've not gotten it out of my
Yeah.
head. So
So that's what you're sticking with.
yeah.
I got it. So this last week, No Man's Sky released a pretty big update, which allows multiplayer in a way where players can see each other, travel together, finally, right? And so I bring that up only to say, or to want to talk about, is it too late? Can it be too late for a
I was just
game?
going to say that.
It had all the hype going into release, right? Like No Man's Sky, I felt like did an amazing job of hyping up the game from a developer that we had not heard of. They had all these promises and it sounded like it was going to be awesome, and it comes out and it just like does not meet expectations.
It falls
Right.
flat. Yes.
Yeah. And so can it be too late for games? Are you guys because for me, when I saw this, I was like, oh, okay, cool. No Man's Sky's doing that. Like, it's finally becoming No Man's Sky, but I don't know if it means now I want to go try it, even though I think it was like one of the top selling games of the week on Steam last week. So people did, rush out
probably
to get
because of that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like it really depends on what the game is. Like, for instance, if it's a game like Evolve that came out and it just didn't really kind of grab people, I feel like because it's so focused on multiplayer that way that, yeah, it's probably, if it has a rough start, it's not going to be able to rebound anywhere.
Yep.
A game like No Man's Sky, where, yes, there's to some extent multiplayer-ish, especially now where you can actually see people or whatever, but if it's so focused on the single player aspect that I feel like over time it can build up and add things that either in this situation that were supposed to be there, but even let's say that it launched with everything they promised and it just kept adding new stuff. I feel like over time it can become more and more appealing and garner a new life, if you will, or get more people in it. If nothing else, the people who did buy in that were looking for that resource management type gameplay are just becoming happier and happier, and they're going to talk more and more about it.
Yeah.
And that's going to pique some people's interest. I don't think it'll make it a booming success. It's going to get this huge wave, but I think it'll help it stay around.
Right.
It will satisfy the people that game is catered to anyway. I think it will definitely satisfy a need that they wanted and they get. But for me, it's like, man, let's just move on to the next game. I mean, I think it's you had your chance to impress us. You had all the hype to impress us. And at least for me, it fell flat. I didn't play it, and some people love it, some people don't, and it's just like, with right before the fall season where all these big AAA games are coming out, you're gonna drop that. It's smarter than to do it now. I think the timing was probably a good thing to do, but I think it is too little, too late because like no one's really talking about this game.
Ed, what about you?
That's true.
Can it be too late?
Yeah, I think it can definitely be too late, especially if once you get a bad taste in your mouth about a game, it's hard to get that taste out of your mouth. It's like if you go to a restaurant and get food poisoning.
Exactly.
It's going to be a while before you can go back.
That's right.
Not yum.
Yum.
Not yum. We know what we're talking about.
Exactly. And so it's just really interesting. It makes me happy to see this kind of thing happen because I don't want people to quit on their games. Like, it'd be really easy for, what is it, Hello Games that did that? To be like, okay, well, that didn't work, on to the next thing. But, sticking it in, sticking through it, grinding it out, being like, know what, we're going to figure this out because we want this to be what we dreamed of it being, right? And so I'm glad that they didn't, stop halfway and that they're edging the corners, even though they wanted sharp corners on their countertops instead of
exactly. Thank you.
Corners.
Thank you. It's written right there. No, and also, I think I would have liked them to maybe work more on a new IP. It's not like I don't think they're going anywhere. I love their story. You
think they should have quit on it?
I think they just should have moved on it from it and like developed something else because I don't. Well, I mean, they could still do things back and forth, but I mean, I don't know.
It's kind of in Hello Games' benefit that they're sticking with this because they're such a small team that I don't know that they could get the funding or pay for it themselves to turn around and like, all right, we're just going to flat out leave and start from scratch again. Right. I mean, it's not like, I guess there's something they could take from this game and use as a foundation towards a new game. And maybe I'm sure they're developing or they're like getting ideas because nobody plays, develops one game forever. Usually most developers start branching off in a little bit, but because they're so small, it probably is more to their benefit to continue to bring the stuff they originally promised and add whatever new to try and foster their community and maybe entice new people to come in.
Yeah, you're right.
They may not really have the ability to do something different.
We've already got all these space rocks rendered. We might as well use them again.
I know. We have these ray guns and a center of the universe people are trying to get to.
We have this weird looking dinosaurs. Let's just use them for some reason.
That's funny.
No, that's a good point, Chris. I agree.
There you go. Chris, what else you got, brother?
Well, you remember not too long ago when Blizzard was like, you know what? We're going to change the name of Battlenet.
Yeah.
We're just going to be Blizzard.
Yeah, nice try.
And like forever, I would just launch and be like, wasn't Battlenet supposed to go away? Well, they pulled like never mind. We were just kidding about that.
Yeah.
In a way, they're going to call themselves Blizzard Battlenet. So they're continuing to keep Battlenet, which they got a lot of feedback that people are like, we really like that name, which I thought it was kind of cool. I was like, Battlenet, that sounds cool. And so they're going to be Blizzard Battlenet. And I just thought it was funny because as simple as like just your naming is for whatever your service is, the fact that they got so much feedback that they're putting out statements and like, we corrected course and we heard your feedback. Funny. It's like, just on a name. I mean, I know, right? Call it whatever you want. Just let me play Hearthstone. I don't really care.
Yeah, exactly.
What do I got to sign into?
Does the server work? Can I sign in and can I get back to my game?
Exactly. Can I play Destiny 2 on PC there? I can't because I'm not gonna, but still, can people do that? Great. That's all I need to know.
Right.
Exactly.
That's funny. I like though. I enjoy when seemingly big companies listen and do what they're.
Yeah, that is nice.
You know what I mean? So it's nice that they weren't like, no, we said we're doing this, so we're doing it. You know what I'm saying?
I wish they would have said it just like that.
Yeah, exactly. No, man, y'all need to relax. This is our company. I ain't never seen not one of y'all clock in not one day.
We want your opinion. We'll give it to you.
Exactly.
That's right.
Excuse me, is that called edplacencia.net? No, it's not. It's Battlenet.
Battlenet.
We make decisions.
But Battle.net was just so much easier to go to and remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting they all call it Blizzard's Battlenet.
Yeah, I know. Blizzard Battlenet.
Blizzard Battlenet. Huh.
That's
so
silly.
So I don't know if this will happen before our next podcast, but we got to get those trigger fingers ready. Because we are coming up on the I don't know if we're talking about the same thing, Chris.
I don't either. I just get excited. He likes
to shoot things.
Yeah,
he likes to shoot things.
It is coming up on the second half of August, which means these SNES pre-releases are coming up.
Oh yeah, we weren't talking about.
So we got to keep our We got to keep our eyes open.
We were way off.
Keep our mice ready because you're gonna have to be fast on that jump.
Your Mises.
Make sure your Mises are in
Nice.
order. Because I know that I want to try to get one. Jenny, for some reason, got so hyped on the NES Classic and was so disappointed we couldn't get that last one.
That's so funny.
I know. I think it was just because it ended up getting hard to get.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? I was like, so they said they're not making that NES Classic thing anymore. She's like, oh, well, we should probably get one. And I was like, it'll be really hard to get. She was like, well, I mean, but we can still get one, right? I was like,
you guys are perfect for each other.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah. She's like, what's the problem?
Yeah,
I can't have what? Yeah, I want one.
Yeah, I want it then. They are no longer making these broccoli smoothies. Be like, I should try it. I hate vegetables.
They're going to stop serving wheatgrass shots. Well, I better go get a few.
Yeah. We should probably load up on wheatgrass shots, babe. You hate wheatgrass shots.
They're going to be out of them soon. No more wheatgrass.
Yeah, but they're not going to make them anymore. They're going to be just Bermuda grass shots.
Oh, no, can't have that.
So, yeah, y'all, get ready. For those that want the SNES Classic, it's coming. The pre-order.
There you go.
And then coming out in September. Chris, are you out?
I am out.
I want to say there's one more thing I have, but I don't know if it's that important. There was a...
Come on, man.
Okay. There was 2 games listed somewhere. You like this reporting?
Yep.
The Nintendo Europe.
There was a man somewhere in the world.
There was an image from the Nintendo Europe website server that had 2 GameCube games listed like they were going to be released for the Switch. And so it's got people really excited thinking that it looks like the virtual console will include GameCube games for your Nintendo Switch. And so when the virtual console gets here, not only will it be NES and SNES, but will hopefully get into the GameCube era as well. And so I think that could be very cool for people. Obviously.
Yeah, people would be stoked about that.
Exactly. And this is different than the re-release thing that I was talking about last week. This is more of a backwards compatibility kind of thing. So I think that there would be some things that I would go back and try because I missed the GameCube era because we didn't have one. And so we got the N64. and then skipped GameCube, and then once I got like a PlayStation, it was a wrap, and I stayed PlayStation the rest of the way. But
Yeah.
so this could be cool for people with the Nintendo Switch, hoping to play some GameCube games. It's very up in the air right now. Like there was no art, there was no release date. You know, everything was TBD, TBD, TBD. But it did say like type of game. It was GameCube, and so people were like, ooh, 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 ooh. So we'll just have to sit back.
Man, people scour the internet.
How were they?
Ooh,
Ooh.
ooh, GameCube. So we'll see what happens with that. Ed Placencia,
Gabe Patillo.
what? You want to talk about anything? I never want to cut you off and make it sound like you only get to talk about YouTube if you have something burning in your heart.
No, that's it. That's
and
his
soul.
role. He only talks YouTube. Did we not make that clear when we brought him on?
Exactly.
Well, Tim stole my Piper's topic of the week idea. So.
Yeah, I
there
got
you go.
you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
Exactly.
It's a tough one.
No, I got nothing extra this week.
All right, give us that
Oh.
YouTube, brethren.
Over on the YouTube, we've got new this week, Chris McCracken opening 56 Knights of the Frozen Throne Hearthstone card packs.
56
Hey.
card
Yay.
packs.
Yeah, I had 6 extra.
Wow.
6X. Oh, that's crazy.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Did you get anything good? Did you get some? Was there any surprises?
Any good legendaries?
Yeah, I got some. I think I got like 3 different legendary cards. I got
Nice.
2 of the Death Knights and a couple other new class legendary cards.
Did you walk
Sweet.
away happy? Like, were you like, that was pretty
I
good?
was happy, and I'm having a lot of fun messing around with the different mechanics and whatnot in the game. Still figuring everything out. It's a lot of fun.
Nice.
It is, man. Such a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Also, new this week, we've got parts 1 through 9 of Observer. If you want to try to help me figure out what in the world is going on, you might want to go check those out.
I love on Twitter. You're like, things are about to get weird.
Oh, man, they are about to get weird. I don't know how many times in one session I can say, what? What? What's going on?
That's
What?
funny.
So, yeah. Looking at our top 10 YouTube videos for
Is
the
it-
week,
so
combining
wait.
the average.
Comparing it to
Yes.
comparing it to that camping game that you played last week or the
Yes.
week before, like, does this one have just like a little bit more, this is what you go do, or is it still like, just figure it out as you go?
Yeah, you've got like a little, like a console that's like, here's what you needed to do. Like, solve this, investigate here, go here, try to
Okay.
find this, you know? So yeah, it definitely helps you out a lot. It's just that in I think it's part 9, the most recent one that's up right now, you're investigating and the guy can't talk. And so you're like, well, because I can read dreams, I'll go into his head and read dreams, and then I'll find out what happened.
Oh,
And
So
then
that's
you
gonna be a
No.
great place to go.
Yeah, we go into
Yeah.
his dream, and I'm
Jeez.
like, what did that tell us? What do we know now?
What did I miss?
Because I
Yeah,
just saw a bunch
exactly.
of squiggly lines set to emo music. I don't know what's going on.
What was that
Really?
middle part again?
Yeah, it was really those Bloober is really good at weird, and they did a good job with it.
That is really funny. I always wonder if, like, I heard, sorry, this is a rabbit trail, but like I listened to a podcast where somebody was trying to explain what they saw, right? They were like legally blind, but they like could see this one
Mm.
color and everything like that. So I wonder if for game creators, if that's the same way where they're like, they're able to put really down on a game exactly what they were seeing, or if it still comes out a little different than what they were even trying to explain.
I wondered the same thing. I think I even said during my gameplay, I was like, how do you even storyboard this?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, how do you come up with it?
Yeah, how do you get your idea across? It's so weird. Yeah.
That's funny. Interesting. Squiggly lines.
Yeah. Squiggly lines.
There it is.
There you go. Top 10 YouTube videos for the week of August 7th through the 13th. Number 10, Batman the Enemy Within, Episode 1, Chapter 6, Riddle Me This.
Ooh, get in there. That's awesome.
Number
Mhm.
9, Gabe and Chris react to State of Decay Halo Wars 2.
What the freak?
Nice.
What? I know. You thought I was going one place.
I know. I really
know.
did. I was like,
Like,
man,
that was
we
a heck
have
of a
fallen
drop.
off. Yeah.
I know, for real.
Do you work at Bloober?
So I don't know. Is one of those games ready to come out? Is that why people are watching it, do you
I
think?
have no idea.
Maybe they just missed us.
Yeah, that could be. Could be.
Chris is cute enough to
It
miss.
It
Well,
is
this week.
possible.
I know, right?
You're very missable. You're very missable.
Yeah, I did.
Number 8, Sniper Elite 4, Part 3, San Celini Island, Destroyed Cameras. Number 7, Married to the Games, Episode 256, Ediana Jones. Nice. Number
Eddie.
6.
Yeah, I was going to say, Eddie and the Jones.
Number 6, Watch Dogs 2, Part 5, Bottom Dollar Fail. Number 5, Watch Dogs 2, Part 6, Bottom Dollar Complete.
Nice.
Number 4, Gabe and Chris react to The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, no.
There you go.
No.
It happens.
Number 3, Ori and the Blind Forest Part 14. Thornfell
Stop.
Swamp.
Wow. Everybody jumped the gun on us.
What in the world?
Jeez. There's a natural
Thornfell
rhythm to
Swamp.
it. Yeah.
I know, right?
Oh, am I late? I'm sorry.
I had a tear in mine.
Number 2, Watch Dogs 2 Part 19, Paint Job. And number 1, Watch Dogs 2 Part 48, Ghost Signals.
There we go. That's really funny. I have to mention too, and I can't believe, and like Chris, if I don't write down what I did, I almost have to go back through Twitter to see what I did in the last weekend.
Yeah.
And I got to freaking do an MTTG meetup this weekend.
You did?
And when
awesome.
when I was in
That's right.
Michigan, I got to see Shep Dog and his family. And I
Had you
totally
met before?
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
forgot to mention that. Yeah, we hung out last time I was in Michigan.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so, but I didn't get to meet his kids that day.
Oh, okay.
And so I got to meet his kids, and his wife was there, and their friends. So it was really quick, but I did get to see.
Oh, that's awesome.
I did get to see Matthew, so that was
Good.
that was
good.
Good deal.
that was a good time.
That's great.
Sorry, Matthew, for forgetting. It's not that it wasn't memorable. It was just fast.
That's right.
That's all it was.
Right. There you go. I like it.
Well, every week we ask you guys a question. Last week was no different, except for the fact that nobody agrees with me, and that is okay. And I think I don't agree with myself anymore.
Really?
Nice.
okay.
We won you over
That's
from
awesome.
yourself.
I think I did get one over. Kind of like with the Switch. Are you done with re-releases? Starting over on the forum, Tufa said, overall, I'm okay with it. Re-releases should be a safer bet financially for video game companies, and hopefully have a few of these on their roster will make them more willing to take chances on new games and franchises. If done well, it can be very beneficial. But my only concern is that it could get to the point where it's like remakes, reboots, and sequels and movies and TVs where it seems to be killing creativity and studios only greenlight the same thing over and over. I think this is a big part of Nintendo's problem where they keep doing the same thing over and over and it's getting old. Mario Kart, Zelda, Smash Brothers, Metroid, Pokemon, etc. I got that. Graced Steak 564. I have not seen that name before.
Yeah.
Welcome to the forum.
I think he just signed up.
I like
think
that.
this week.
Oh, okay, great. Any game from last gen or before that never got the attention it deserves should be given a remake treatment. Games like Nier, Crimson Skies, Panzer Dragoon, Orta, Jet Set Radio, etc., or even games that were made for last gen or earlier but were limited due to the tech of the time. Got you. Inky Fingers. I think it depends. My opinion is if it's an older game that was a hit, I love the ability to replay it on my current primary console, even if I do still have all three consoles still hooked up, all three Xbox consoles still hooked up. But reworking some titles that are only a couple years old simply to make it HD or whatever seems like a waste. I think it would be better time served working on titles that may be hard to find, have not been experienced by younger players, and ones that would drain older gamers' wallets simply by the nostalgia of owning / playing that game again. There you have that. Over on Discord, BDog1221. As a Switch owner, I'm not done with re-releases. There were some incredible Wii U games that didn't get played at all, or in my case, didn't get played enough because of how much I hated the controller. There you go. Bad Gamer Elite, MTTG historian, and he's doing great with that. Golly, that's so funny.
I love it.
He's
Love
adding
it.
pictures now. Come on.
Yeah, he's adding. I know.
Man, he's doing his own
He
memes.
has freaking
Come on.
stepped his game up, man. And it looks like we're freaking Nostradamus.
I know, right?
It looks like
Yeah, man.
it looks like
Yeah.
we were saying all kind of stuff that was coming out. We were like, oh yeah,
What happened?
backwards compatibility should come to the next Xbox. Boom. What do you know? After they bring it out, a year after they bring it out, they're like, and what Married to the Game said. I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
Bad game
They got
release.
some good ideas.
He said, I'm ready for more games to be backwards compatible versus re-released. I never get to do a ton of the PS games, and I love finishing some of the 360 games on my Xbox One. Plus, I get to do screenshots of those games. Oh yeah. Screenshotting.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they wouldn't have had it before. J.H. Sweps XB1. I still like a re-release a couple of months before a sequel comes out, but releasing an old game without anything new is just a money grab, in my opinion. Yeah, that makes sense. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, man.
Over on Facebook, Nathan David Dugas. Re-releases rarely take time from the OG development studio, and they both give players who missed playing a game the first time a chance to play on a new console, and older players a chance to replay games they loved or finish a game they never finished. I say bring them on.
Yeah, that is a good point, because a lot of times those remasters are sent out to port studios that are just using the new assets and stuff and not the main team.
Right.
So that's a good point.
Dak Huntley, I was kind of over it before owning a Switch. There are so many games I missed last gen that I would love to play. The Switch is perfect for titles like that. I'm still not sure if it's because of the device being so new and simply I'm going through the new console game starvation. But for now, I will take one Resident Evil Revelations with a side of Okami, hopefully later. Yeah, they said Okami is probably getting a re-release too. That's right. And let's see, over on the Twitter, Nick Cooper. I really do not know why people hate on re-releases. Did they kick your dog? Keep the good games alive, I say.
Yeah.
I like that. And then Nick
Re-release
Vito
killed my master.
Oh, jeez. Nick Vito at Vito Nick, he says, not yet. And he put up a picture of him playing Sonic Mania on his Nintendo Switch. I'll tell you what, the Nintendo Switch is really a perfect place for that thing. Golly.
Right?
Chules at The Chules. Yes. What's the point of making next-gen, half-gen consoles if the majority of the library is going to be games from last generation? Preach, preacher.
All right.
Nice.
Scott Thompson at Scott_T82. I think it's great to have them. There are some great games that, for whatever reason, if you missed them before, you can play them now. So the general consensus is bring on these re-releases.
Yeah.
And I'm being swayed that way, but I'm still not totally in on all of it. But that's okay.
That's all right.
Just testing the water.
What's that?
Just testing the water in your mind. Like, can I be won over?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Let me just dip
Yeah.
my toe in.
That says a lot, though, that you're able to be, like you're not so steadfast in your opinion that you won't be.
Yeah.
So that says a lot about you.
You make a good point or two, and
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
it's hard not to, want to switch gears. And
Well, you're a sensible person.
Right. Somebody did give me a hard time. They were like, "Oh, so we don't want that Final Fantasy game?" I was like, "That's a little different now. That's a remake.
Oh, okay.
That's not a re-release.
Oh, okay.
Different things.
That
Different
is
things.
true. That is very true.
Well, you know where to find us. Facebook.com/Married to the Games. Twitter.com/MTTGcast. MarriedToTheGames.com. Come check out the forum. Like Ed said, YouTube.com/Married to the Games. And now on Patreon. And we should just take a second and give a big shout out to our patrons.
Go for
Man,
it.
thank you guys so much
Yep.
Yes.
for supporting the show. It is awesome. It's really cool to see you guys link arms with us and come alongside and
Yeah, it really is.
give. We really appreciate it. Man.
And there's a lot of good conversation going on the Discord
It
too.
really is.
Oh,
Yeah,
Gosh.
really good stuff going on over there.
Junk is so fun. I forget to even answer. Like I just
Yeah,
read
I know,
stuff.
right? Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm like reading and laughing to myself, like, oh, Drolo.
Exactly.
I love it.
Can't start my morning without my acoustic sunrise, you know,
Oh, that's right.
over there on the
That's
Oh
Discord.
man, that's a joke for a small percentage of the community. But come join that small percentage.
There you go.
It could be larger.
It could. And Tim.
Rate us on iTunes because THUNK.
Jeez.
Done.
Nice.
Well, let's get into some questions.
All right, starting with the Discord. Don Starlancer. Movies oftentimes get an unrated version later on with all kinds of extras, sometimes edgy additions. Why is this not a thing for gaming, and do you think it ever could be?
Man, probably takes a
I like
lot
that.
more man hours to do something like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of times those like X-rated extras are like improv. The people are just like goofing around and just say a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
with games, you got to really plan that stuff out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't. You're probably
It
not going to
definitely
have.
takes longer.
Yeah, you're not going to have a mouth linked up to something that Troy Baker just said flippantly.
Right, right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah, but also like movies, they're like the main reason or the main way that movies make their money back, like based on whatever they invested into the movie, is usually off a box office release. I mean, obviously they sell digital files or DVDs or whatever down the road that they also make money from that. But their big draw is the box office hit.
Mhm.
And the harder your game or your movie, is rated, the less people whose eyeballs can get in front of it and the less places it'll be distributed to.
Yep.
So they tend to go from whatever will get most of the audience. Whereas on the gaming side, it's not something that's being displayed publicly through another thing. So it's always behind the wall. And even M-rated games, I think technically like a 13-year-old could still, as long as the store will sell it, they could still go get, there's not like a rule that says you can't sell this to a 13-year-old. Isn't it more of just like a guideline? I don't know if
is
it's
it
a
really?
hard,
Yeah.
fast rule. Yeah. So,
we're looking at you, GTA 5.
but like on a movie, like you can't get into a rated R movie unless if you're 17, unless you're with a parent.
Right.
And like NC-17, it doesn't matter even if you are with a parent, you can't get in unless you are 17. Like there's more hard, fast rules.
You know,
there.
it's 18 here in Tennessee for the rated R movies.
Really?
Sucks.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's 18
What?
here. Yeah.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Bible Belt, baby.
But yeah, I think that most games, like they just put all their eggs on the basket right there in the beginning. Like the only thing that you get that's kind of similar is like when you have the Game of the Year edition later on where it has all the DLC.
Right.
I guess that's kind of like the unrated version, if you will. But like the games are what they are. They just make the content. They don't hold like,
Yeah.
oh, we're going to have this joke even funnier in this version. They usually just
Right.
give you what they're giving you.
Mm.
And I agree. I think it's still it's a matter of time. It takes a lot of time to do that stuff, and I feel like most developers are really under the gun all the time with these game releases now because they always want to get it under deadline if they can. But I feel like they're just like they probably just don't have the time for it.
Yeah, and I would think any.
And that's why we have DLC.
Yeah, and I would think any outtake would only be out of game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When you come
Yeah.
when
Right.
it come to like extra stuff like that on that side of things.
And a
On the
lot,
movie side, I do miss the Pixar bloopers at the end because like, I don't think they do that very much anymore.
Yeah, they kind of stopped that, didn't they?
Mhm.
Yeah. And I loved those. Those were great. But
Forever to make.
I can imagine it. Yeah,
I know, right?
I was going to say because it probably does take forever, and they were like, "Oh, we got to move on."
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Good question.
Anybody else? Yeah, it was a great question. Nova Beyond. So, do you call pop soda or soda pop? And what's your favorite? It's. He said, "I'm a Mountain Dew guy."
Oh,
So it's totally on the region, isn't it? For
yeah.
pop soda or soda pop.
I call it sody.
Sody.
Like I'm gonna go
Sody.
grab me a
Ooh, I like
sody
that.
right quick. Or we call them
Nice.
on the road. I don't know why. One of the guys on the road calls them gospel whiskeys, and so we started calling them that on the road a lot.
Gospel.
Yeah,
whiskey.
will you pass me with them
Wow.
gospel
That's
whiskeys?
hilarious.
And be like, all right.
I love it.
And
That's so funny.
Pepsi. I think Pepsi's my favorite.
Ooh.
Ed?
interesting.
I grew up saying pop growing up in Indiana here, but as soon as I moved to California, I changed it to soda, and it's stayed that way ever since.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what though too? I noticed that I usually, unless I'm just saying like I'm gonna grab something, like usually I'll call it by the name.
Oh, right.
Like, hey, I'm gonna get a Pepsi.
Yeah.
Does somebody want to, drink or something like that?
Yeah, that's what I do as well. Every now and then I may say soda. I've never said soda pop or just pop. That's not a phrase that I use really.
Right.
But I'm 90% of the time, if I'm going to mention it, I'm the same as Gabe. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get, and I just call it whatever it is.
Oh,
I'm going to get
interesting.
a Coke or a Sprite or a whatever it's going to be. I almost always say
Right,
the
you
name.
call it what you want.
And I don't
Yeah.
drink a ton of soda these days, but if I do, the one that I want more often than not is going to be Dr. Pepper.
There you go.
Oh,
Ed,
yep.
did you say your
Ooh,
favorite?
Nice.
Yep. Same as Chris. I don't drink soda anymore, but if I did, it would be Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
I don't
And I
often
will-
drink soda, but when I do,
I don't often drink soda, but when I
But
do,
when I do, I'm a pepper.
I'm a pepper. Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't drink a ton of it either. I call it soda, or Lauren likes to say, "Hey, can you just get me Diet Coke?" Like she'll just call out whichever soda she wants. But if I do, man, that McDonald's orange Fanta is the bomb.
Oh, really?
Fanta is delicious.
Yeah,
Why
that
specifically at McDonald's? Is it different than orange Fanta anywhere else?
Because it's in that McDonald's cup. I don't know. It's just something about it. You just feel like,
You
yeah,
know what's
here we
funny?
go.
The Pepsi at Taco Bell tastes way better than Pepsi almost anywhere else.
I mean, fountain drinks are always
Yeah,
different.
fountain drinks always taste better than like a bottled,
Yeah.
in my
Maybe it's
opinion.
the circumference of the straw. Mm-mm.
Yeah, maybe.
They got it
Yeah,
down.
maybe.
Man, McDonald's have good straws. Yeah. Yeah, they do. That's awesome. All right, great question. Moving on to email. Braylon Jones. Back in the day, in the double-digit episodes, me and my mother would listen to the show, and we found ourselves saying nice a lot like Tim does to people.
Yeah.
Lately, I found myself saying, yeah, you are, or yeah, you did, whenever someone tells me about something they did similar to Ed.
Yes.
What are some mannerisms you've picked up from other members of the crew, and what's a mannerism you've picked up from your wife lately?
Oh gosh.
Love that.
Ooh, man.
From the crew, I've picked up saying yes from Chris.
Yeah.
I knew you
So when
did.
somebody's telling me something, I'll be like, yes. Like as they're talking, yes. Yes.
Oh,
Nice.
that's funny.
Yes. And so I've got that from
Yeah,
Chris.
said nice.
From my wife, I have picked up, oh man. I think, I'm I don't act on this a lot, but I notice bad service in restaurants more since being with her because she was a restaurant server for a long time. And
There you go.
she's a stickler for service at restaurants. And so she's the first one to say to me like, well, I guess nobody's going to come get our drinks. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
And so I noticed that because of my wife.
That's funny.
Timmy, what about you?
Interesting.
I say, yeah, man, for my buddy Ed all the time.
Yes.
But sometimes it'll just be, yeah, man. But because nobody knows you, Ed, except for like here in the community. So if it's here, I'm like, yeah, man. But everywhere else, I'm like, yeah, man.
That's awesome.
So I alter it a little bit depending on the
I
environment.
think you should still say it the other way.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
yeah, man. Yeah, I love it. And then from my wife, I don't know, is it rounded corners or straight edge corners on countertops? That's kind of the manner. That's my mannerisms right
Definitely
now.
right now.
Well, it's actually, babe, we got it. And right now it's, babe, we got to get out of your parents' house. That's like we keep saying, I cannot wait to
that's
get
funny.
into our own house.
Of course, of course.
Yep.
Chris?
The phrase that I've picked up kind of from you guys is I find myself saying right a lot more often now. Like, and Ed
Yeah,
says
yeah.
that he'll be like somebody else telling me, he'll be like right, and I
Right.
find myself doing that. And like Stacey will say something, she'll be like, "Oh, that was really crazy when blah 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 happened." And I'll be like, "Right?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's totally like Ed coming."
That's an Edism
yeah,
right
that's
there,
totally
man.
an Edism.
Yes.
Everyone's getting stuff from Ed. I
I
love
know.
it.
I will also catch myself, maybe not so much on the show, but outside of the show, I will catch myself saying, "It's all good," which Tim says a lot.
Yeah,
that's
it's
funny.
all
Hey,
good.
So I-
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
right.
so I definitely have that as well. As far as from Stacy, I think the thing that I've picked up the most on, and I'm still not as good at this is actually a really positive thing, and I'm not as good at it as her, but she will always pick up like when somebody says something or they mention that they like something or whatever, she'll like pick up on that and like pack it away in her head and be like, oh, maybe like if somebody says they really like Snickers bar, she'll pack that away, and the next time that maybe they're having a down day or she gets the opportunity, she'll make sure that they have a Snickers on their
Oh, that's
desk or
cool.
something. You know, she'll remember little things like that.
That's
And I've been trying to
stuff.
Gosh, she's sweet.
like find those in conversation and just
Yeah.
be like, all right, pack that away. And yes, I'm
Yeah.
nowhere near as good as her, but I that's kind of something I've gotten from her, that she's really good about keeping those things on top of her mind and knowing
Yeah.
like, oh, so-and-so really likes this or likes that, and keeping that filed away.
Mhm.
That attention to detail, man.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Right. Ed.
Great question.
What
Ed.
what I've picked up is something I picked up from Gabe from our phone conversations. And if I'm not talking to Gabe, but talking to someone else, it feels really awkward when we hang up to be like, all right, peace. And then I'm like,
Nice.
who am I? I can't pull off peace.
All right, peace, man.
And the look on that Sarah gives me if I'm on the phone with someone, they're like, bye-bye, peace. She's like, who are you trying to be? I'm like, I don't know.
Who are you?
She's like, why did you say bye-bye and peace?
What have you done with my Eddie?
I know, right?
Funny.
Bye-bye, peace.
And then from Sarah, I've picked up, aw.
Yes, you have.
Nah.
Big time.
Definitely have picked
Big
that up.
time.
I think I asked Ed that back in the day. I was like, do you get that from Sarah? The awe thing? He was like, yes, I totally got
Right.
that from Sarah.
Aw.
Because that is not masculine.
That's good.
Which is fine. Which is fine.
Which is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
That's right. That's right.
That's hilarious. Oh,
Great
my
question. I love
gosh.
that.
Yeah,
Love that.
that's really good.
Staying with email, Daniel. Hi. What is the craziest party you have ever attended?
Mardi Gras.
Really?
Yeah, that
I
was
want to
crazy.
avoid that.
Holy crap. It was on my bucket list of things to do. And so when I was 20, me and some friends went down to Louisiana and took part in Mardi Gras.
Nice.
That was
Louisiana.
insane.
I believe it.
Chris?
I haven't been to a lot of crazy parties. I mean, maybe the craziest one or rowdiest one I've been to. I went to a house party one time when I was probably in my early 20s, and they had like a band playing in the living room. It had just been cleared out, and there's a band playing with like big speakers and all, kind of like a legit concert put inside this house.
Oh, wow.
I was like, we are not going to be here long before the cops come.
I know.
Oh,
Did
right.
Did they show up?
Yeah. No, they never did.
Oh, wow.
I don't know
Wow.
what the deal, because it was late too. I didn't even get there until midnight, and this band was like full force going for it. And I was like, all right. And then there was like beer pong and all the other crazy stuff happening.
I like it.
That's cool.
I like a crazy party every now and then.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But I find that I just observe crazy parties.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I don't
just
usually-
did it wrong.
I don't usually take part in crazy parties, but I really love watching crazy parties.
Oh, it's so much fun people watching.
So
isn't
I'll be
it?
over in
Yeah.
the corner like with a drink, like, oh, those guys are
Yep.
idiots.
Exactly.
Yep.
I was just gonna say, in college, I was a DJ for most of my college
Yeah, you
years. So we would do like all the fraternity parties and all the sorority formals and all that stuff. So my weekends were pretty much shot. So I witnessed a lot of stuff, and I honestly loved just being a DJ and just watching people just do ridiculous stuff. It was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. Eddie,
Yeah.
sorry, Ed.
Yeah. That was weird.
I picked that up from Sarah. Speaking
you
of picking
did.
stuff up from Sarah,
It's like me saying peace.
Yeah, man.
Probably like Router in college at Ball State, we won a big basketball championship, and there was a big party in the quad, and then people started ripping down traffic lights and
oh geez,
kind of the
Oh,
same
boy.
thing. It's like, oh, the cops are coming. Yeah,
The
let's
quad.
We
get out of
should
here.
Get up
So,
out of here.
That's our cue.
I know, right?
That's so
Kind
funny.
of like
I
Gabe,
was-
like just standing back watching, and they're like, oh, yeah, this is not a good idea at all.
yeah, I always
Exactly.
think it's funny when people celebrate by tearing stuff up.
Especially their own stuff.
Yeah,
I know.
Like when a city
It's like-
wins the World Series and they trash their own city. It's like,
yeah.
I don't
Let's
understand
flip this car. Oh shoot, that was my car.
that. Right.
I have to get an Uber
Yep.
now.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Steve.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Steve.
Exactly. Moving on to Facebook, Matthew Serta. What was the greatest year for video game releases? I'd like to contend the year where Skyrim, Borderlands 2, and Bioshock Infinite was perhaps the best year for gaming
Oh, wow.
ever.
Oh gosh.
Highly rated games with a high quality story and endless playtime. Any other high water times come to mind?
You know, man.
Yeah.
I do like that year. That was 2012, right?
You know, I'm not gonna know.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
remember.
so bad because most of the games I play, I don't play them the year they came out until just the last
Right.
couple of
Yeah.
years. So I don't know, 2014.
exactly. I'm gonna go back and say like whenever the Nintendo came out, the NES,
Oh, nice.
whatever year that was, it changed the face of gaming. It changed home consoles. It changed the way people viewed, kind of getting out of the arcade and playing at home. And so I'm gonna say that was the best
Yeah.
year for gaming, especially for me,
Nice.
like because my dad my dad's a techie like I am, and so he ran out and got an NES. And then like always like, so when the Genesis would come out and like if I was doing good in school, then he would get that and stuff like that. So whenever Nintendo kind of came to the States, I'm gonna say then.
Nice.
Chris?
I really don't know because, as I established earlier, I can't remember even what happened last week, so I don't remember which years all these games came out, and I don't really pay that much attention, so I really don't know. I mean, I'll go with his answer: the year BioShock and all that stuff came out. That sounds like a good year.
You know what's funny? I mean, a little bit more current, I can say, and we could probably all answer this. For me, obviously, like 3 years ago, like that E3 where they talked about what was coming out was the best year for me personally. Obviously, like I don't think any of those games have come out yet that I was excited about. But it was a good year of promise. A good year of promise for games coming out.
Good year of empty promises, really.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I haven't seen a Shenmue or a Final Fantasy VII yet.
There's been none of that.
That helps, and that helps kind of get it all jumbled up as well. So it's like, I don't know, the year Space Ace and Mafia 3 came out?
Exactly.
Space Ace and Mafia 3.
Ace. Cammy! Yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
That's
so great.
Funny.
Yeah, I agree with Matthew, actually. Yeah, well, because I started late. I mean, 2011 is when I started, and I think it was the next year. That's when Skyrim came out and Borderlands 2 and all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
So I totally agree with him because that to me was just, it was a solid year of, man, I've never played these games before, and these are amazing. And yeah, there was a lot of them that same year. So it was very cool.
That's right.
Great question. Moving on, Brett T. Bawden. I don't know much about Far Cry 5, but from what I can tell, it seems to feature a rural American terrorist organization comprised mostly of white nationals. It seems to me that intolerance in both words and actions appear to be increasing everywhere, and given the recent events in Charlottesville, do you think Ubisoft had any reason to be concerned about the characters and setting of Far Cry 5? P.S. Thank you for creating a community free of bigotry and hate and full of love. I love being part of this community, and you four gentlemen are an inspiration. Keep up the good work. Brett, thank you for that. That is awesome.
Thank you for the kind words.
Really kind of
Yes, that was a crazy weekend this past weekend. And honestly, you know what's funny? I don't think Ubisoft had expected something like this to kind of come back into the fold like it has.
Yeah.
And so there might be some concern there. I mean, and they have a couple months to figure that out maybe, but if I were a PR person for Ubisoft, I'd be like, dang it. Okay. It is kind of a sticky situation given what we've gone through this past weekend. But I don't know because it is everywhere. You know, you do have these little factions of people everywhere. And, they're kind of bringing that to the fold. The beauty of it, though, is you get to kill them all. So like I am in Mafia 3 right now, like I love the fact that, I like that because that was the era in 68. That is exactly what happened in that time and in that city. But I get to shoot these people in the head, and it's very rewarding, and it's fun. So, they have the setting there, and the setting isn't good, but what you're doing for the story, I think, might help cover that a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, as long as they're bad guys, then I'm not worried about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's like taking out, anything from a game of people that actually exist. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I mean, we're going through, I mean, like you guys were saying in Mafia 3, like it's racism. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? And
Straight up.
Yeah, racism and hate are something that'll probably be here until the world explodes or whatever the freak. And so it's, obviously it sucks when it's brought to the forefront, and when violence kind of gets involved with it, it obviously becomes like just this awful, awful thing. And, we're sitting watching the television and you're like, how do I explain this to my freaking kids and XYZ? And it's a big reason we don't watch the news. But I feel like as long as they're bad guys and it's not being glorified, I don't think Ubisoft should have anything to worry about. They're painting painting the picture like they're freaky people. And so it's not like they're like, isn't this awesome, right, guys? White supremacy. And let's keep it going.
And I think they're throwing in a little more on the religious side too, which it's a very tricky thing to go through. But yeah, I agree with you. I think they're probably this is, hey, we're just kind of exposing that this is weird, and this is what you're overcoming, and this is what your goal is to overcome these people. So if that's the case, which I'm sure it is, we're good.
Yeah. Chris?
Yeah, I don't think that, from what I've seen of Far Cry 5, and I've not been following it really, really closely or a lot or anything, but it seems like their domestic terrorist people, if you will, are more on the, like, it's a cult. It's all based around religion and everything. Yep. I haven't seen anything to make me think that they're in any way of their bad guys that has to do with race in any way. So, I mean, on that respect, I don't think that they're the same thing. But at the same time, anytime that you make a game or a movie or do anything in a creative way that's based on something controversial or negative or whatever, there's always going to be the possibility that, when X thing releases, there might be a real world event that kind of ties in somewhat to that. Right. So I don't feel like this is anything necessary that took them off guard, or that they weren't like, oh my gosh, we're totally taken aback that something crazy could have happened. I feel like they probably would have prepared themselves that, hey, if nothing else, that just people won't like our concept. Right. So they're already prepping themselves for, hey, there might be some pushback from somebody, because there always is going to be. Yeah. I'm sure they're fully prepared for it. Now, if something else comes out that like follows the story almost like lock and step, it'd be like, wow, that's kind of crazy and very, very even more so unfortunate. But
and what would be the chances of that too?
Yeah, and I think, like you guys said, the positive that you could say in a way is that in this one, that you get to stop those bad people, or you get to stop the bad thing from happening, or right the wrong. It gives people, a way to, in a virtual setting, like write an incorrect thing that happened, kind of thing. Yeah. Could be an outlet for getting rid of some frustration, kind of stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm like you guys. The first thing I thought of was Mafia 3, because I'm sure they didn't give a second thought to, are we going to offend racists?
Nope.
And so it's kind of the same thing. Like, like Chris said, they're bad guys. So I'm sure they weren't like, are we going to offend people who distort religion and turn it to their own good?
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal.
They're not worried about offending them. They're already offended.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the other great thing is, if you don't like it, you don't have to play it. That's the other thing. So everybody's going to have an opinion about something, but if it still interests you, then play it and see what happens.
Amen.
So, really, really great question, Brett. Thank you for that, and thank you for those kind words. Moving on to Twitter, we got just a few more. By grace I'm saved. If you were wrestlers, what would be your names and your entrance music?
Oh, Lord. That's a tough one.
I love this.
I guess like Chocolate Thunder or something crazy.
Yes, you would. Absolutely. Something chocolatey, definitely. Bring it on.
I guess I just go with, I'll go with Chocolate Rain and that song from YouTube.
That's hilarious.
Chocolate Rain.
I love that.
What would it have to be?
Okay, I'll go with the Mexican jumping bean, and
yes,
I'll use the hat dance song. Because I have no other idea.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
That's good.
Chris?
I'd probably go as Gingerbread.
Yes.
Ooh, nice.
Or like the albino something or other.
Gingerbread Assassin.
Yeah, it could be that.
Gingerbread Assassin.
And then I want to say that I would just come out to a Metallica song, but I don't really know. I don't
you would.
Pretty sure you would.
Lined up. Maybe like Sad But True or something.
There you go.
That's funny. Tim?
Probably The Pollinator or something. And
The Pollinator.
But I don't know what my entrance music would be, because I don't have a. There's
it'd be
not
like,
really a song.
It'd be like, yeah, choo,
choo.
I think Dust in the Wind would be good.
Oh yeah, Dust in the Wind. Let's do that one.
The slowest intro music.
With Dustin. Yeah, it's horrible. Everybody be like, oh, this guy's going to be flat on his back in 2 seconds. Oh, I love it. That's awesome.
That's funny.
Good question. Thanks for that. That's good. Moving on. At Loki Lover 101. If you had to move to a place in a video game, where would you go?
Ooh. Oh. I want to, let's see.
We've had a question similar to this, like what environment would you want to be in, but all of them are like dark and gruesome.
They so are. What about like, and I might have said this the first time, but maybe somewhere in the Mass Effect universe?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's not like everywhere was so doom and gloom. I just don't know where there. That's a good question.
Certainly not 1968 New Orleans.
No,
that is folk show.
certainly not Mafia 3.
Right.
Chris, you have one?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to think of where's
Andy's room and from Kingdom's Heart.
I know, right?
Hang out with Buzz Lightyear.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Right.
Yeah,
That's a little
don't know.
pre-shout out. The game's not even out yet. Nice, Chris.
I know. And I'm not going to play it.
Yay, even better.
I'll watch it. Gameplay.
Ed, what about you?
I don't know. Maybe Shy Guy Beach.
Shy Guy Beach. Mario Kart?
Yeah.
That's
Shy
hilarious.
Guy Beach.
Delfino
Wow.
Square.
Oh, I like Delfino Square.
Yes.
I'm not Rainbow Road, man. I hated that
Yeah,
course.
exactly.
Oh,
Delfino Square
right.
at least got like the water and everything like
I
that.
know. Love
Yeah.
that.
Shops.
Well done, man. I like that. That's great.
Strip malls.
Right.
That's awesome. I don't know where I'd go. Probably like an Uncharted area.
Oh yeah.
That would
Yeah,
be-
there's some pretty
There's some
pretty
really
places
beautiful
there.
places in the
there
Uncharted
are.
world. I just pick one. I
Yeah,
don't
they're
know.
also just sparse though, man. You're a city boy.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I don't know. I'll go with that for now, just for the sake of time.
I like it.
Nice.
Final question at Blessing Jr. Who is your favorite Sonic character and why is it Tails?
I could not ever stand Tails.
I don't like Tails either.
My favorite is Sonic.
Yeah, Sonic's the only other one I know.
Sonic's the only one that I ever played because I didn't play the game. I didn't play Sonic and the one that had Tails. Was it called Sonic and Tails? I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure.
didn't have
play it
that
either.
version of it. Yeah, I only played the Sonic where it was. I think it was Sonic 2.
There was Knuckles.
Knuckles.
Knuckles was cool,
Yeah, I didn't
But-
ever played that one though.
but still Sonic
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, he could go freaking Super Saiyan. Come on now, Tim.
Here you go. I'm going with Sonic because I don't really play
Woo,
Sonic.
that is.
Who else is there?
I think there's a girl. There's Tails. There's Knuckles. There's Sonic. Shadow, is that a character from Sonic?
I don't know.
Oh man,
Sure.
Let's say yes.
Put a quarter in.
put a quarter. Exactly. Amy Rose, that's the girl. There's Dr. Eggman.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, thank you for being on it with the Googles.
Yeah,
Right.
well, you gotta do something so it sound super ridiculous.
We got to sound like we know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Right.
but Shadow, I remember Shadow being, and that was before I Googled it. I remember Shadow feeling really cool, but still Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Shadow's a close second. Good question.
Great question. That's it. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you guys. Here's a question for you guys. This is an easy yes or no, but you could also elaborate if you'd like. Have you ever fallen asleep while gaming?
Gabe, you better answer that.
Oh, you know I have, Bishop.
Yeah.
I've fallen asleep a couple times. I've definitely fallen asleep playing Clash Royale in the bed.
Oh, right, right.
oh, yeah.
I forgot.
Then-
Yeah.
And then, but I've definitely could not stay awake during ICO. It was not happening.
That's
Really?
right.
Oh my gosh, it was so peaceful. I was like, this is what it needs to sound like to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Chris, you ever fallen asleep while gaming?
Nope.
Never?
Nope. I don't even know how it can happen. I mean, I can't, if I'm
Yeah.
sitting upright or even if I'm in bed, like on the iPad, like I'm usually sitting up in some way. I just, and then I have a thing that I'm holding and maintaining. It's just like, I always just put the things away. And then when I'm ready to go to bed and I go to sleep,
Oh,
I don't
my
understand how you
gosh.
can, which Stacy's done it. She's been on, the laptop in bed before and fallen asleep. I've taken pictures of her asleep, like with her hand on the keyboard and I'll
That's
show her later.
awesome.
But like, I don't understand how that can happen. I've never been so exhausted that I couldn't realize, hey, I'm tired. I better put these away and go to bed.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah,
never
yeah, I
happened to
got
me.
you. I've
Yeah.
just
Wow.
wanted to play so bad that I'm like, I'm too tired to start this game, but I'm going to play anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then,
And time is money, man, with you, with the three.
oh
with
man,
the three
with
children.
all three kids. Ico was before we had three, but I still
Yes.
had children at the time. And it was like,
Yep.
yeah, it was like the only time I could play was like in the middle of the night. And I was like,
In the middle of the
Middle of the
night.
night.
I go playing some. I go playing some. I go.
I fall asleep with my game.
Hey, I'm with you. I'm actually with you, Chris. Like, I have nodded off, like, just briefly, but when you're engaged in a game, like, it usually keeps me up.
Well, it's the
So,
same thing. Nodding off's the same thing.
Yeah, I guess. But like, just like, it's one of those like head dip things where you're like, okay, and then you're back up, and that's usually when I shut it off and go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's not falling asleep when he's playing a game because he's engaged, but he fell asleep podcasting.
Yeah, he did.
Very true. Very, very true. Man, that day.
Oh, man. I
That
can't
day.
wait for Bad Gamer Elite to get to that episode.
I
I
know,
know,
right?
The Narcoleptic
Oh,
Tiger Claw.
Narcoleptic Tiger Claw. Man, that will be glorious.
funny.
I cannot wait for him to hear that again.
Ed, have you ever fallen asleep during gaming?
You know what? I was gonna say no, but then when you mentioned like playing a game in bed, I was like, oh yeah, I think I've fallen asleep playing balls before.
Oh, yeah. I mean, right?
That's easy.
Yeah,
That's good. You pull the trigger and then you can just nod off and it'll do
exactly.
everything
Wait
for
for
you.
the balls to bounce around and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wake up
This
6
is
hours
taking
later.
a while. Mm-hmm. That's
awesome.
awesome. Let us know. Have you ever fallen asleep while gaming?
It's a good question.
Yep.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Use hashtag AnswerMTTG, and we will, of course, read some of those next week on the show. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for listening. Hopefully, we will see you guys next week. I'm Gabe Patillo.
Mm-hmm.
That is Tim Router. That is Ed Placencia. That is Chris McCracken. And we are married to the games, and we are up out this thing. Peace!